looking at the price action possibly leveling out and dropping down. It is currently at a support on the 1 hour chart here. We can't really see that on this chart, but that's where we are. The two pink lines right here are the two peaks, both the wick and the body of the candles, and these two last peaks here, which we have surpassed, so that is nothing to sneeze at. And we are still on an uptrend, an uptick here. And we can see that the blue line here, the trend line, I'm calling it, is on an uptrend as well on the main chart. So we were waiting for the CPI report to come out, and I kind of expected it to drop down, to be right honest about it. We had the PPI report come out yesterday, and it dropped, but then immediately came right back again. I kind of expected the same sort of thing today, but we went up. And so that kind of took me a while to readjust my thinking there. I was waiting for it to peak out, and I thought perhaps then it would drop back down again. So I did a short, which I don't think was a bad move necessarily. We're kind of at the top of the channel right here. It was a pretty good resistance level here. So I got into a short right there and kind of waited for it to drop. Kept raising my limit order up higher and higher, but it just was having trouble getting through this really short-term SMA, which kind of surprised me. Okay, and then it finally broke through, but here we are kind of pretty much right where I got in again. Okay, I got a little bit nervous right through here because it seemed to want to be going up. So I did a reverse since it does seem to have reacted positively towards the news. I thought, well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe that's all that's going to drop. So, okay, so I did a reverse, and now I am in a long here. So I basically did not make anything at all on that first trade. If anything, I think it was like a very, very small amount of loss. So I'm basically out my commissions and a couple bucks. Okay, so I'm in a long here, and I wished I had held on to my short because it does seem to continue to drop here. And unfortunately, now I'm in the hole $21. And so as it continued to drop, I decided, okay, I need to just get out of this position and reverse again because it's probably going to drop down here. And that seemed to be a pretty good, support area. And that's enough to at least get back to zero again because I'm $36 in the hole here. So I did another reverse. So now I'm into my third trade, and it kind of bounced up from that point, and then it started to come down a little bit, and then it bounced pretty good right there. And now the MACD here is all of a sudden starting to turn up, and I am in a loss position yet again. So at this point, I'm $72 in the hole, and I'm in a short, and it seems to be going up. So I'm not in a good place right here. Okay, so I thought, well, the best I can do here is maybe just try to get out at the best place that I possibly can, which I was hoping was right there. But it just still kept breaking through that SMA and kept looking like it was going up, and the MACD keeps turning up, and I was really worried that I would get stuck into this short position and it was going to go shooting up even further. So I just got out right here, and actually I got right back in. It was a reverse order. That's why it's two. So okay, so now I'm sitting at a loss of $80, and I'm finally in a long position, my fourth trade, and I'm hoping that it goes up now. And then it took a nosedive again, and then it kind of stayed there. And I decided that I should just get out because I needed to back away from this and wasn't really sure which direction it was going, and all I'm doing is losing money each time I change my mind and make a different trade. So I'm out. I've done 4 trades. I've lost $63, which is almost twice what I would like to make in a day, and this is not looking good. Actually, it's $63 plus about 20 more, so about $80. So it's definitely twice as much as I'd like to make in a day. Not good. Okay, so what does this look like to you? Does it look like we've hit the top of the channel and perhaps are tipping over now? Because that's what it looked like to me. And so I did a short. We can see a red candle here and a red candle here. And we've had this great big leg upward, which often it'll turn back on itself and drop. I've seen that happen more than once, like it did the other day, yesterday. And so I'm in short, and I put in some alerts here because it's not even opening bell quite yet. It's only 9:12. And I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. I got distracted. Okay. You can kind of see this pennant pattern forming right through here, which I think is kind of interesting. And if anything, it kind of broke through the bottom of it right there. That's looking pretty good. Very hopeful. It's actually below the SMAs right now. Okay, here's the opening bell. And I had a little bit of an uptick there. And I drew in the pennant pattern that I was seeing, and it kind of broke through the top. So that was a bit worrisome. This is really not good. So there's a lot of green candles that just suddenly developed, and it looks like perhaps it's heading up again. So I held on a little bit longer, and it did seem to drop back down, came right back to where I had gotten in. I'm kind of hoping that it will come down to this blue line, and I just keep moving my limit order up. The limit order and this alert is set at kind of the top part of this flat area right through here. So that's a pretty good guess that that's maybe where it's going to. Okay, this is looking good. Oh, that's looking really good. Really, really good. That's $30 in that trade. And it's getting very close to that point. At this point right here, I made a really bad decision. And I can see why I did, because on the longer term charts, it does look like we've just begun a drop. You can see the MACD starting to turn over. We can see, it kind of hit a resistance level up here and maybe it's dropping. I decided not to get out at this point, but to hang on to this trade because it did show me all the signs that it looked like it was going to drop just a little bit further. And it didn't. It bounced up and continued up a little bit there, and then it continued up a little bit more, and then it broke through the top of this blue or this light purple channel here, not channel, excuse me, the light purple price line, which I had drawn way back. I don't know if I'll show that or not, but to a level that I thought it probably would be a resistance level, and it blew past like it wasn't even there. And it continued on up. And so at this point, I am $171 in the hole. And I just decided to get out here. I just got out and I was done. In fact, if you go back here, I am very close to not being able to trade, very, very close to not being able to trade the MES. And so I think at this point, I'm going to have to go back to paper trading again and see where I went wrong. Is it me? Is it the MES? Is it this time of month? I don't know what's going on here. So it's rather discouraging. So anyway, thank you for joining me.